Let's get some perspectives on the ongoings in the APC and what this means for the nation. I'm being joined tonight by the governor of Nasarawa State, of course, and a leader of the APC, Governor Abdullahi Sule. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
For those, maybe we should begin from the grievance of would one say Nasarawa is a minority northern state? Well, that depends on where you're looking at it from. But for those of this kind of group who believe that the decision of Bola Tinubu and the party to pick Senator Shatima is worrisome and might be injurious to the political fortune of the party ahead of 2023, how do you see that, or how do you react to such?
Thank you very much, Seun. I think you are going to have a lot of this. We have almost 6, 7, 8 months to go for the elections. And I have no doubt in my mind that you are going to be having a lot of these discussions, over and over. It is normal when such decisions are taken, and it didn't matter, whichever decision. It doesn't matter whichever decision the party and our presidential candidate have taken. You will still find exactly what you are seeing today. If he had taken a Christian, some other people, maybe from the deep north, will have come forward, rather than the middle belt to say that, no, we don't agree with it. We are the ones who hold the party. We are the ones who do this. So it doesn't matter whichever way. That's why I strongly believe that no matter what happens, one day, I pray, you will have Bola Tinubu sitting right here so that you can ask him some of these and he will tell you. But I think today, sitting down there when they were discussing about the reasons for picking this gentleman to be his running mate, I learned so much of the reasons behind some of the things he mentioned. I know during the introduction you mentioned that his main reason is to win election, but I think it goes beyond that. I think it also goes into the issues of understanding one another. Who do you feel comfortable to work with? Who shares your vision? Who understands you? Who shares the vision of this party from the beginning? It was today I learned that in 2011, when alliances were about to be formed, when people came together from the ANPP, from the ACN, and from the CPC, along with ABGA, came together and sat down at Fashola's house in Lagos in 2013. It was the same Shatima that came out actually to present, the decision of those political parties to form an alliance that has today turned out to be APC. So he was a foundation member. He's somebody that Bola Tinubu had known for a very, very long time. He's somebody that Asuwaju respects so much. He's somebody that the party understands and he understands them. And he mentioned a few things about him. He said, one, he believes in being bold, so is Shatima. Shatima is also somebody who is bold, who is not afraid, who was out there, with the Boko Haram at the middle of these issues. So somebody who believes in the economy, somebody who was a one-time banker, so he presented all these factors that made it possible for him, to select this gentleman. So at the end of the day, he was able to convince the party and convince most of us that that is the right candidate. And we're really convinced. But a lot of work needs to be done, because yet there are a lot of people that are not going to feel comfortable, that are going to say this. But what I found even amazing today, I saw a group of Reverend Fathers, pastors and the rest of that, over 30 of them, that have come forward at the event, in fact, to show their support, for this gentleman because of what he has done for them, when he was the governor, when he was the banker, and when he was everything that was there. So that's why I say you will have some that will support, some that will not support. And it is not according to the religious lines, because if you will have all these men of God, leaders in their churches that have come forward to say that we are 100% in support of this, then it has gone beyond religious lines.
I guess there is perhaps some kind of suspicion and lack of trust that has lingered up to this moment. Perhaps the reason why, especially in your party, and perhaps the perception of your party to some Nigerians and in some sections of the country. And if you look at it, I hate to put out this fact, but it is true. that your the presidential candidate of your party is a Muslim. The vice presidential candidate of your party is a Muslim. The national chairman of your party is a Muslim. Presently, the leader of your party, who is the sitting president, is a Muslim. The Senate president is a Muslim. The Speaker of the House of Representatives is a Muslim. In fact, his deputy is a Muslim. Majority of the service chiefs are Muslims. In some times in this country in the past, these issues will not mean anything. But this suspicion and this lack of trust, or this distrust in your party and the leaders, and then perhaps the tonality of the way your party presents things and the body language of your party to things is making people feel uncomfortable. How can your party be able to convince Nigerians? Because this is no longer an APC or Bola Tinubu idea. It is what Nigerians are passionate about, and the unity of this country has for a long time been called to a question for the first time. So those who are questioning that decision, I'm very sure that they have some very good reason, isn't it?
Those who are questioning that have forgotten the history of this nation. At this nation, this is not the first time in this nation that we have had a Muslim, and we have had a president and his number two of the same faith. All people need to do is to go back and look at the history of Nigeria. This is not the first time also that we have had elections where somebody from the southwest has not picked somebody from the northeast, both of them the same faith. As a matter of fact, they won their elections. This is not the first time today in this country. You know, if you look at the number of governors that we have and the number of deputy governors that we have almost 64%, if you put governors and deputy governors, who are Christians, and then the remaining are Muslims. So over 60% of our governors and deputy governors are actually Muslims, actually Christians. You know, and it is the balance of these 40% that are Muslims. If you look at them, like right now in the whole South, the whole southern part of the country, you have 17 governors. Only one of those governors is a Muslim. Nobody is complaining about that. You know, so it is not a situation that you have had. Look at all the southern governors of PDP. Not one of them is a Muslim.
But those who will say that in the north, I mean, I've had a guest on the program who said in the north there's just about one or two ministers who are Christians from the north in the present cabinet.
No, that's what I'm telling you.
These are the question mark people are raising.
No, it depends on the kind of
on a normal
people.
day, this might not be an issue at all. Nigerians are so fantastic people.
And it should
but
not
when
be
these
issue.
kind of issues come up, I mean, is it the right time for your party to think about the intensity of the vision that we see in the country?
I think it's the right time
and the sensitivity
it's
of
the right time
issues?
for the party to think of how can I win election.
Not about the unity of the country.
No, the unity of the country is inclusive. You know, winning election and ensuring that, well, if you just go in as a party and say, let us go ahead and lose election for the unity of the country, you are not a political party.
No, but you don't wonder that you want to win election at the detriment of the unity of the country?
No. None of them depends on the other. As a matter of fact, it is when you win the election that you can make a decision. So the question of unity of the country is continuous. No political party will believe in the disunity of this country. Every political party
the
believes
PDP
in
has
unity.
accused your party that whatever tension that we have in the country today, your party is responsible to have played that up and to have caused the nation has been disunited at this point. No, and so far, I mean, the question would be, do you want to step on the disunity of the country and the sensibility and the sensitivities of the people of this country just because you want to win elections?
The problems we are having today are not as a result of religion. The problems of security in this country are not as a result of religion.
But there are a lot
the problems of unemployment, the problems of inflation, the
Christian
problems
leaders
that we are having.
who are being killed in Kaduna, who are being killed in northwest region of the country. There are perceptions about annihilation and humiliation of the Christian faith in the country. And so the question is it the right time for the ruling party?
The ones in Maiduguri, and the ones in Katsina, and the ones in Sokoto, and the ones in Zamfara, and the ones in Niger, are all also because of annihilation of the Christians or the Muslims. I think we better, that's why I love what they said today, you know, during the presentation, that let us look at the unity of the country, Let us look at the future of the country. Let us look at the economy of this nation. Let us look at education, unemployment, and the rest of that, because these are the issues to face. If we go minor issues, you are trying to say, oh, this one is a Muslim, this one is a Christian, this one is that, I think we will miss the point. Today we have Nigerians in the UK seeking for office. Nobody is asking about their religion. Today we have Nigerians actually occupying offices, political offices in the US. Nobody asks them of where they come from.
That's not their problem.
Exactly.
The issue of religion and identity is a problem here.
No. It
touches on the unity of this country.
No.
Every society has its own sensitivities.
It's a problem to a certain group of people. There are a certain group of people who want to make it a problem, so it's a problem to them. As I said, you have all these clergymen that came in today, religious leaders, who understand the Bible, who understand the politics of this nation, who understand the situation of this nation. They jump back and they were at the event.
Did you hear what people were saying about them? In fact, they are saying that some of them are hired.
Well, if they were hired, we didn't see that. Then maybe the same people who were on the streets today were hired. It's the same thing. Because in this country, look at the caliber, can you compare the caliber of the people who were on street with the caliber of people who have just entered that event to be there?
I would like us to discuss something that is a bit more different from the issue, but before we get out of it, I'd like to ask that, don't you think that it's sort of strange that out of all the political parties, it's only your party that's toed that line of a Muslim ticket?
It's only the party that has the guts to actually look at the right direction and take it. We are not going to be a party that is just going to look around and then go with the flow of what it is. We have to look at the sensitivity of this nation. We have to look at what is right for this country. We have to look at the economy of the country. We have to look at how do we solve the issues of this country. And our presidential candidate believes he is somebody who is tested. Today, the economy of Lagos is the best economy in the entire country. He did it during his time, and he said, I want to repeat it right now for the nation. So how did I do that? I brought competencies. I didn't care where they came from. I brought people from Igbos. I brought some Hausa people. That's how we built the economy of Lagos. We didn't care what the religion was.
You know what happened in America?
What happened?
The President Biden brought the James. Brought for the first time a woman of color as a vice president.
Correct.
To United Nations.
Correct.
I mean, for the first time in the cabinet. Yes. The president of America brought a lot of mixture of people of different faiths and beliefs into that to unite, because the nation, that country, was largely divided after Trump's exit as the president of the United States.
No, but you see,
now you wonder that in Nigeria, is your party damning the consequences?
No,
Your Excellency, take a listen to what a very strong member of your party, a former SGF, said about what has happened. He said, we have picked it up this gauntlet. The God of justice and equity through the Nigerian voter will decide the victor between the Nigerian Christian Alhaji Tinubu and his party, the APC. This is our country, and will not let Alhaji Ahmed Bola Tinubu relegate us, our children, and our religion to second-class status in our own country. For us, this is an existential crisis. Our rise to justice and peaceful coexistence with all practitioners of other religions is under threat. That is Baba Chilawa.
I want you to read also what the Bola Tinubu also campaign organization mentioned, that he was one of those at the committee that actually submitted the names of people who could be vice president. Among those names were also Kashim. So sometimes I think we like to play around with some of these things. As I mentioned, it's an issue that has to be solved. Unfortunately, what you did, you mix apples and oranges and all that. For instance, you started mentioning the leader of the party is a president, candidate is a president. His deputy is president, Senate president is president, this and that. But is that the situation today? The leader of our party today is a Muslim, but his deputy, Osibanjo, is not a Muslim. So you have taken their regime and then you blend it right now into the other one. I think that's the situation. So if we need to separate them, we need to wait for Bola Tinubu to be elected as president, and his vice president having to be a Muslim. Who is going to be the Senate president? Who is going to be the speaker? Who is going to be, the chairman of the party? Who is going, so we need to do that. But if you take the ones from here and blend them with that, and you have taken people like you know, Osibanjo right now, our SGF right now, all these other people, you have thrown them out.
You're not able to mention more than those two, because the belief is that there's just a sprinkle of them. These are the concerns. This is not me. This is not Sean Wakim Aloy speaking.
Yes.
These are the concerns of members of your party. And some Nigerians who are opposed to the decision of the party.
No, you see, the members of the party you are talking about, some of them may even leave the party. You have some people who are dumping the party to go to something else just because it doesn't please them. So in politics such as ours, and in this part of the world, you have people from within. Today I was just watching, you know, here, sitting down here. I saw somebody, you know, who in Akwa Ibom, a sitting senator from Akwa Ibom, who dumped PDP to go to YPP. If you ask him his questions right now, is it because of Muslim ticket? He will tell you no, he has his own reasons. So I think this is what you will continue to say. So politicians have their own ways of saying things. All these people you are mentioning, they are politicians.
All right. You know. Your Excellency, we need to take a break.
Okay.
And I'll get your final thoughts on some of these issues, especially as it concerns 2023 and the welfare of Nigeria, because that's the essence of governance and what politicians are going to do in government. We'll take a break, everyone, and we get the closing thoughts of His Excellency Abdullahi Sule, Governor of Nasarawa State. And afterwards, we get Senator Magnus Abe will be joining me. He dumped the APC and he will be telling us his reasons. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back. Thank you so much, everyone. Welcome back. Our closing moments now with the Governor of Nasarawa State, Governor Abdullahi Sule. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for your time tonight. For those who believe that maybe your party has damned the consequence of, let's go to the poll. And the fear is that, and the warning is, there might be consequence and implication at the poll. Some had even made inference to say, your party is already receiving the punishment from the loss of the election in Osun State, that the people are already rejecting your party. How would you react to that?
I think people keep talking about Osun State and they have forgotten actually the past. It's usually with the history. If you remember, it was the courts actually at the end of the day. PDP was declared the winner, you know, in 2011. It was actually the courts, if you remember, that have taken and given this to Arigo Shela when they discovered what had happened. If you check also, it's the same problem that we have had. The gentleman who is there today, it was, in fact, his own case, the Supreme Court, that had actually given him the position after they discovered the wrong things that had been done. And while, as a member of the Nigerian Governors Forum, we have congratulated Governor Adeleke, and with all the hope, you know, that he's our governor, and we congratulated him. The party locally had continued to say they are looking at the results, and they're likely going to go to court. So I tell you, we shouldn't laugh too early, because there is nothing new that has happened in Osun that has not happened before. So this is the reality of what is happening in Osun. So, and in Osun, if you look at it, Osun is different from, you know, even the people, when we were watching the news, you will hear some other people will say, yes, we didn't vote for Oyetola, but we are for Asiwaju, we are going to vote for Asiwaju. So we remain APC. And those, you were there, I was watching you all the time, and I realized you were talking to some other people. So those are the kinds of news we continue to hear from them. So it is really not maybe against APC. It is similar to your next guess, what is happening in Rivers, that probably happened actually there. It's an internal issue that happened in Osun that caused us the result that we see today. That's the way I look at it.
Do you have a feeling that there is a sort of rebellion in the minds of some Nigerians, and thinking that, well, we'll wait so that we can show how angry we are? Some of them who are on the few queues almost every day in Abuja, the nation's capital, just on the noses of the ministers and the government of the day. In Lagos, causing tremendous headache to Nigerians, traffic everywhere, and food prices. The issue of the exchange rate to Naira is about 620-something Naira to $1 in the market right now. And imagine what the average Nigerian is going through, not you and I, or perhaps you in the upper class are probably in the lower, of the middle class.
The higher upper.
So, Do you think that Nigerians who are for your party another chance, considering what has happened?
I strongly believe so, because you have to look at, when you are going into an election, you look at the competition, and you look at the situation, and you look at what you have done. So a lot of these people that you are talking about who are saying we are not going to vote for APC because APC has done this and that, they probably had never voted for APC anyway. The real people who have voted for APC, today, are looking at the good things that APC has done. Are you saying all this infrastructural work that has been done is nothing? Are you saying that all the agricultural improvement we have had is nothing? Are you saying that the improvement we have had on security on one area, but we are having another problem of security in another area is nothing? So I think there are a lot of goodness that has also come out of the APC. Yes, there are challenges. Yes, we are facing the challenges. And yes, we are not damning the consequences to say that we have Muslim ticket, so what? We are not saying that. We are saying that we are talking to the people, and it is because of talking to the people that today you have had the people that I'm just hearing from you now that they say they are hired, men of God. That have come in their numbers, and somebody say they are hired them. So in this country, then who is it that you are not going to hire? If you are going to hire, the thugs on the street who are raising flags and saying that, and today, men of God that have entered, to say that with this gentleman, we believe in him, you say they are hired. So this is the kind of situation that you have. So, it is an ongoing story, right. But believe me, there are so many good things that we have that we believe we can sell to Nigeria.
On a final note, and perhaps in 30 seconds, Governor, how tough do you think it will be for your party, and how much of a uphill task? Because your party will go to Kaduna to go and campaign. They'll probably try to talk to people in Kajuru whose family members have been killed. They'll probably go to Maiduguri where some of our soldiers are being ambushed. They'll probably go to Benue where they cannot go to the farm as much as they would like. How much of a tough time do you think it will be for your party?
It's not going
and
to
you think that Nigerians will be easily convinced?
It's not going
because
to
no
be...
matter what you have done, is how much of it Nigerian can be convinced to vote for your party again?
It's not going to be tougher than in 2015, 2014, when PDP was actually going to Maiduguri when they were bombing them. It's not going to be tougher than when PDP was actually going to Kaduna and Kano. And I can tell you that about Kano, every 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers, you have a checkpoint in Kano. When mosques were being bombed in Kano, when Muslims could not go to the mosque until they were checked if they had bombs on them, when it was all over the nation. It's not going to be tougher than that, yet PDP had gone into campaign. So in our own case, yes, we'll go and campaign and say, this is what we are doing, this is what we are doing, this is what we are doing, this is what is happening, and the rest of that. And I think we can do that.
I wish you and your party the very best.
We need it, and we are going to get it.
Good luck or best luck is a very scarce commodity, politically speaking now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for joining us.
Yes, sir.
Governor of Nasarawa State, Abdullahi Sule. Thank you indeed.
Thank you, sir.